Welcome to the city. The City of Rocks is a national reserve located in south central Idaho. It was claimed as a national reserve in 1988, but it actually started forming 2.5 billion years ago. The City of Rocks is a popular spot for rock climbing, mountain biking, hiking, camping, and anything else outdoors that you can think of.
This map here shows the entire City of Rocks, including all of the major rock formations. The City of Rocks is included in the Basin and Range Province. This extends from southern Idaho all the way down to Mexico. This province is a crustal extension, which means as the crust stretches, it forms faults. And due to this, mountain ranges rise and valleys drop. This creates mostly normal faults, and as the rock formations rise, they are immediately subject to weathering and erosion, which is something we can see at the City of Rocks. The City of Rocks is formed out of two different bodies of rock. First, the Green Creek Complex, which was formed roughly 2.5 billion years ago. It's likely that the oldest materials were sedimentary rocks that underwent intense pressure and metamorphism. Then, granite magma intruded these older metamorphic rocks, and the complex was further modified by intense heat and pressure. These hard rocks were pushed up as part of a metamorphic core complex. Next, the Alma Pluton was formed about 30 million years ago. This is made of igneous rock, which was formed by the slow cooling of magma that intruded into older rock. This diagram that you see here roughly shows that process where it starts as sedimentary rock, forms to metamorphic rock, and then ends up as igneous rock.
One of the most impressive features of the City of Rocks is called the Twin Sisters Formation, which you can see behind me. The Twin Sisters Formation was actually a really important landmark to the pioneers on the California Trail. Interestingly, each of the Twin Sister Formations is formed from a different type of granite. The one on the left is formed from the Alma Pluton, and the one on the right is formed from the Green Creek Complex. This right here is called Bath Rock. It's mostly formed from the Alma Pluton. In this formation, you can see crystals like feldspar, mica, and quartz. Here we're at the top of Bath Rock. Bath Rock is called that because of these bath-like depressions that you see at the top. These are caused from sodium from the Great Salt Lake being lifted up in the wind, being blown to the City of Rocks, and that increases the speed of the erosion and the weathering.
This popular formation is called the bread loaves. It's called that because of the joints that are vertically placed, which make it look like sliced bread. These joints are prominent vertical cracks which are formed in response to tensional stress. This can come from the cooling magma contracting, or it can happen when the rock experiences tectonic forces after it has cooled and crystallized. It's important to add that this only happens when the rock is stretched beyond its brittle strength, which is the point at which it breaks, and it always cracks the direction in which the rock is being stressed. When a first joint is made, it strongly affects the stress that the rest of the rock feels and can cause more.
This right here is called Camp Rock. It's a very important historical feature because, as you can see, there are names written from the pioneers who traveled on the California Trail. Also included on this rock, interestingly, is a very significant geological feature. You can see what's called huecos. And these are pocket-like depressions in the rock, and you can see that the birds have actually taken advantage of these and built nests in them.
This right here is my friend Andy showing us how a hueco can be used to wedge your foot and knee in and act as a handless rest when you're climbing.
This right here is called Bruce. It is a geological feature that we find here at the City of Rocks, and it's really quite simple. It's just small crumbles of granite that you find from everyday weathering, use of the rocks, and just what you'll find in nature. At the top of this rock formation, you'll see something that's called taphany. Taphany is really similar to huecos. The only difference is that they're depressions on the underside of rocks, but they're formed the same way.
This video right here shows an intrusion. An intrusion is liquid rock that forms underneath the surface of the earth. Magma from under the surface of the earth is slowly pushed up from deep within the earth into cracks or spaces it can find, and this process can take millions of years. As the rock cools into a solid, the different parts of the magma crystallize into minerals and makes a really clear and defined line that you can see up against the rock in which it has intruded. This right here is called a xenolith, which is when a rock fragment becomes enveloped in a larger rock. I hope you enjoyed this geologic history as well as significant geologic features of the City of Rocks. I consider the City of Rocks to be a fascinating and must see landmark in southern Idaho.